I am an overthinker, which means that I, as the word implies, overthink. I overthink about a lot of things, about life, about work, about gaming, and about AcceleRacers. Maybe because that's what my channel is for. And after significant amounts of overthinking, I may have in fact changed the lore of AcceleRacers forever. You see, as I dug deeper into the lore of AcceleRacers, I discovered something that all AcceleRacers fans should know of. That the drones and that Gelorum had been on Earth for thousands of years, cast out of the world of the Accelerons for potentially harming other drivers to win races. But this key decision, the decision to abandon Gelorum and her drones on Earth, might have shed light into the Accelerons and the purpose of the drones. But what doesn't make sense, what's always been bothering me, is that they abandoned the drones on Earth with the portals leading to the Wheel of Power. Obviously, if you abandon your AI child, they would seek revenge and attempt to find that Wheel of Power that can lead directly to your world by any means necessary. It seems like a mistake on the Accelerons' part. Now you could attribute this to an oversight, but it wouldn't make any sense, because these questions still need to be answered. Why did the Accelerons leave the drones on Earth if the portals to the Wheel of Power were there? And the inverse question of that, why did the Accelerons put the portals on Earth if the drones were there? Would it just not make sense to, destroy the rogue drones instead of leaving them somewhere, particularly to where the path of the Wheel of Power is? They have the power to destroy the drones, and yet they don't. Unless there was some ulterior motive, an ulterior purpose. You see, if we fast forward to the ultimate race, if we inspect things closely, it is revealed that you need to combine a certain amount of AcceleRacers to activate the ultimate race. And if we really think about this knowledge is only known exclusively to Gelorum, in which she only knows this because she came from the Accelerons. Which means that if there was no Gelorum, there could potentially be no ultimate race, as the realms could potentially be incompleted, or the AcceleRacers would be split in between the rival groups and the Silencers. Which means that Gelorum was the key to opening the ultimate race, the pathway to the Accelerons. And let's not forget the philosophy of the Accelerons. They want you to strive to win and hone your skills. This potentially means that if there was a solo driver in the ultimate race with no Gelorum, there is no strive to win. And so what did the Accelerons do to compensate for this? They added Gelorum and her drones. By doing so, they added an overall constant competitive nature to all the realms, as a human can easily just combine forces to conquer the realms. And not only this, the Accelerons emphasize the focus on skill and not using the AcceleCharges, which any of the humans could easily do if the drones were absent. It does seem very unethical and immoral to create a fully aware AI just for your selfish reasons to race competitively. And not only that, using an AI is basically cheating in almost any game, contrary to the philosophy of the Accelerons. Unless the Accelerons were playing chess, 4D chess. What if they somehow made everything and manipulated everything to be what it was? What if they knew Gelorum would try by any means necessary to reach the Accelerons, and by that, use the AcceleCharges in the ultimate race? What if they knew that Gelorum was the only way to make the race happen, and that the drones were the only way of constantly providing that competitive strive to win for the humans, while also focusing on the skills to race through the racing realms? Let's not forget that Tesla identified in AcceleRacers and in the world race that competition is a striving factor to getting the Wheel of Power and getting the AcceleCharges, in line with the Accelerons' philosophy. What if they knew all of this because they programmed Gelorum to do what she did? What if the Accelerons manipulated Gelorum into thinking that she was abandoned of her own choice, when she was just one piece for the puzzle to find the ultimate driver, the puzzle to find an AcceleRacer? They fed Gelorum lies to make her think and feel this way about the Accelerons so that she would make the choices she would, but in turn would make the racer that they were looking for turn up. And since this was an expansion of my theory of what the Accelerons left behind, it fits the criteria. The Accelerons abandoning Gelorum is leaving her behind, and Tesla doesn't even know the true purpose of the drones. Now there's one scene that supports all this. It's when Gelorum goes to kill Vert. When this happens, the Acceleron just stands there minding his own business, not scared that the perfect driver they've been searching for all these years is about to die to Gelorum. Would he not just jump straight in to protect Vert? No. Unless he knew Gelorum would try to do that, to kill Vert, and they knew they had the powers to stop her. With all this being said, there is another key piece of evidence that can help with this theory, and it's got to do with the origins of the inscription that Tesla had in the world race. Basically, the inscription had the detail detailing the origin of the Wheel of Power in racing, And although this isn't really relevant, the Ruins realm has the words describing the origin of the drones. Therefore it's not unreasonable that the inscription came from the Ruins realm. Let's not forget that the inscription that Tesla has is what led him to Highway 35, and potentially the Accelerons, when they abandoned the drones, left the inscription there for Tesla to find, therefore activating the whole story to begin with. But finally, once they have the Wheel of Power in the world race, tell me what happens. Gelorum wants to steal the Wheel of Power, and then when they find the true meaning of the Wheel of Power was what you receive you must give back, that's the only reason why they return the Wheel of Power back to its original place. And then what happens after that? Gelorum steals the Wheel of Power and AcceleRacers happen and the realms open. Meaning that if Gelorum never wanted the Wheel of Power to get the Accelerons, Vert would have never returned the wheel, meaning that Gelorum would have never stolen the wheel and activated the racing realms to begin with. Which means that Gelorum is the only reason why everything is happening. One last thing, when the Accelerons say the realms were made for human drivers and not machines, it could fuel that hatred for the humans and the Accelerons for the drones, allowing for every action to happen as it did. Because they knew Gelorum would try to take revenge on the Accelerons by any means necessary, by finding the Wheel of Power and everything else I've explained before. Taking all of this into account means that the Accelerons built the drones for the sole purpose of being the catalyst to the world race and AcceleRacers, all to find an AcceleRacer. They manipulated everything to do with Gelorum and the drones. They foresaw every action she would take to bring an AcceleRacer to them. Anyway, what are your thoughts? As always, thanks for watching. I didn't want to make this theory, but I have to. The truth needs to be revealed at any cost, and that cost may be my life. This theory could destroy the law of AcceleRacers and everything that made it to be. If you don't hear from me after this video, Mattel, Hot Wheels, the government, all the bigger forces at play would have gotten me. But this needs to be heard.